Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclone. It's time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. Well, remember when the Long Island Railroad came to a Train Sim Classic and I said sooner or later we're going to get some kind of DLC for it? I had a feeling we were going to get the M3. I suggested maybe the M9. I suggested maybe a diesel train so we can complete one of the diesel tracks. Along the way, maybe Oyster Bay or maybe the path beyond Ronkonkoma or Greenport or something like that. Well, the first of those did come true. The M3 did show up, and I figured it was going to eventually. If any of them were going to, we had a model in Train Sim World. We could bring that over, put the sounds and everything on it in Train Sim Classic, and get Ryan to work on it. And sure enough, that's what happened. So we have the M3 in Train Sim Classic at this point. We have three scenarios for it. The first one being called Reverse Peak Relics, the second being called Mainline Maintenance, and the third one being three-man weave. So there they are. There's the first, second, and third. You can see what we're going to be doing on these. Looks like two of them are clear weather and daytime. One is a little bit later. The third one is also middle of the day, but it's rainy in the summer. So we got some spring and summer scenarios here. Nothing winter, so nothing really too fancy or tricky here. So we're going to take these... This M3 Reverse Peak Relics is the first one we're going to be doing. Is a 55-minute scenario. Tomorrow's will be a 40-minute scenario, and then the next one will be, after that, will be an 80-minute scenario, the longest of the three. So today's 55-minute journey is train number 763, and if you remember the way that trains are coded, I believe that falls in range of being one of the, test my memory, I can't remember offhand what 7 is. I know 8 is Long Beach, and I know 9 is West Hempstead. I'm trying to remember what 7 is. It will come to me, and I will put a tooltip in there because I'm going to kick myself when I remember this later. But, West Hempstead. It's the Hempstead branch. Hempstead branch. That's why we're going from Hempstead to New York, Penn. There you go. Train 763. They head, odd numbers head towards central New York. Even numbers head away from New York, heading towards all the places on the outskirts. Southampton, for example, on the main line beyond Babylon as well. So there you go. That's how those are numbered. I just had to remember what that is because it's been a little while. So, little fog in the brain here. Anyway, let's get going. Train number 763, Hempstead to New York, Penn, against an evening rush. Let's go. Good evening, engineer. Today you'll be taking this early evening service from here at Hempstead against the evening rush into Penn Station. Please set up your train and allow passengers to board here at Hempstead before departing in a few minutes. We will do that. So, first thing we're going to need to do... Wow. First thing we may need to do, you're going to remember that we have the emergency key out 100% brake situation. You have to hit Z. That starts the train and puts it into a situation where we can do something with it. So we don't have to charge the brakes in this one. We just have to move the max brake. Actually, that might have been what we avoid having to do by pushing Z, because Z is kind of like a shortcut. Oh, open doors. So Z is kind of like a shortcut to get through the charging brake situation. So we've gone into a minimal brake setting now, which I set that myself. I have the reverser forward. There's no self-test like in the UK. We're in a 10 mile per hour limit, and this is an automatic junction because this particular station was not able to be set up as the manual junction it normally would be for the other platforms and for the yard, which is all to our left over here. Did I say left? Right. All to our right over here. This is the end of the train. I want to look at the front of the train, actually. There's all the yard and all the platforms and all that over there. And the city of Hempstead over here as well. So beautiful, beautiful route area. I've never had a problem with the way LIRR looks in Train Simulator Classic. It's probably similar to what you have in Train Sim World. Let's look at the M3, because that's what the star of the show is here. This is the M3. And we have the Long Island Railroad logo on the front of it. We have to turn the headlights on. Let's do that. Are they on? Oh, they're on. I guess they were on already. Perfect. And I don't think there's anything else for me to worry about right now. So this is the train. And I'll go ahead and I'll detach. We'll just take a look down the platform. As you can see, again, the back doors are open. The front doors, the train's too long, so the front doors are not able to be open. That was the back of the train coming in. And as we go down the platform, you can see the rest of the doors down here are indeed... Hello, ma'am. The rest of the doors are indeed going to be open. So we just go along the platform. We get to the end of the platform. That's enough cars for people to board into, don't you think? Sure it is. That's enough boarding right there. And the doors are going to close in just a moment. There you go. And off we go. And there we are, leaving Hempstead at a speed limit of 10 miles per hour, which is the platform limit. We are on our way to our first stop at Country Life Press. Now, I don't remember all my signals offhand, and therefore I'm going to probably have Brandon completely waylaying into me asking how I don't remember this 6 months later, but I think this is like a medium approach, or an approach slow or something along those lines. So I will see if I can put some information in the description as to that. Not a description, in the, I should say in the, in a tooltip, since I now know how to do that since I did the first set of videos for this route. So we have entered a 30 mile per hour section, but we have to wait, as usual, until the entire train has passed that 30 board. Once we've done that, we can move ourselves up to that kind of speed. I'm probably going to stay within 20 to 25 because our stop is right ahead. There's not really a reason to go right up to 30. It just gives us a chance to overshoot the platform. And we have to wait for 2 minutes at the platform anyway. So we're going to take our time coming into said platform. We don't have to arrive until half past the 44th minute. So we almost have 2 full minutes to make this stop. There's our 30. I will go up to P3 to get our speed up quickly. No need to go to P4, that's excessive. .25 is good enough, I'll stay there. We're now coming up to a 15. We see a warning board for the 15. I'll put a small brake application on to get ourselves down a little bit in speed, but we're not going to rush it down yet. So we've seen that 15 board. We know the speed limit up ahead is 15. We should know that anyway if we're driving this in real life. No, minimal brake is fine. Thank you very much. There's a little bit more here. We can get the whole train on this platform, so I'm going to try and do that. Okay, I think I went just slightly too far, but we'll deal with it. Arrival at Country Life Press. Leaving Country Life Press. Our next stop is Garden City. I'm easing my speed at 15 miles per hour and not trying to exceed that at this time. We are going to respond to a couple of alerts here. There's one of them. Now the signal we saw before I believe was an approach medium. I will put the tooltip in anyway, but I believe was an approach medium. I brought up my an old guide that Brandon wrote a long time ago, and he sent that to me way back when we had Long Island Railroad coming to TSC. So he gave me that guide, and I'm kind of flipping up and down that guide to tell you what all the signals are as I drive along. So a little bit of a distraction while I'm driving here, but we'll deal with it. So you can see the signal coming up. You may remember the horizontal bar being a stop signal. By itself it would be, but the bottom signal is turning it into a medium clear signal that we now have. So we are taking the medium clear. We're being warned about speed changes up to 30 up ahead, so we're getting that information right now. Lines are merging in here. That is a line that used to go to Diesel area. That is no longer, well, actually, if anything, it's just a yard, if anything now, but it doesn't even serve that function, I don't think. It's just an abandoned track. But the link is there. 15 is still our limit, so we just have to respond to all these beeps as we get them. Like that. So we just entered into a 20 right now. Or no, 70, sorry. We entered from a 30 into a 70. I can't even read numbers. That's normal. So Garden City is still a very short distance from when the speed increase actually takes effect for us. So we can now go 30, but we're now pulling in the platform. There's not much point to going any faster than we currently are. I'm just going to increase a little bit for the purpose of the stop. And that's all I'm going to do. So 20 is enough for right now. I'm going to let it increase as we go through the platform, but just slightly, because I'm going to be bringing it to a stop shortly anyway. And coming along the platform. So we're putting the brakes in now. Using them off for a moment. Once again, we can probably fit this entire train on the platform. By the way, the doors actually did not open on the first car on that previous stop, as I suspected. But I was actually just barely on the platform. Those doors should have been able to open, but they didn't. Oh well. This one's going to be very close as well. We have arrived at Garden City, track number 1. Warning to passengers, doors are closing. You can see we got our full score for that stop, leaving Garden City. Our next stop is Nassau Boulevard. We can now start going some decent appropriate speeds in this train. We can move ourselves up to 50 miles per hour at this time. Didn't mean to do that. I meant to show this actually. So we're now moving up to 70. You can actually see that we have our speedometer listed in the cab as well. So it shows matching that we were at 30 kilometers per hour. We could use that to measure our speed instead of keeping the HUD up here, but I keep this up so you can see where the stations are coming as well, as you may remember. So our arrival time is 17:51. That's plenty of time given we're within a mile. A little bit of lag on this route, unavoidable. It is a very high performance demanding route. And I am playing on medium quality, so I'm doing as much as I can for you here without making my game unusable. So now we're going to put some brakes on. And hopefully we stop in time. We're getting our first feel for the braking on this train to see how much room we need to stop. Not bad. I mean, I'm going to overshoot just a slight bit here, but that's not bad. I will tolerate that. That is acceptable. Very good measurement on my part. So, arrival at Nassau Boulevard, track number 1. Leaving Nassau Boulevard, our next stop is Stewart Manor. And because we're now in a good high-speed section of track here, as we can refer to it, I mean, not really, but we'll take it. We're the higher speed section of the track. We're going to go ahead and do a higher level of acceleration. Of course, now we're having the normal slowdown when the amps change over before 30. P4 is the highest acceleration setting, so there's only so much we can do here. I'm going to go ahead and hold it right here. There's nothing wrong with getting a little more, but just for braking purposes. So I moved up to a 55% brake application. We're going to let this take effect across the platform. I believe it is going to be slow enough. If I need to, I'll take the brakes off and coast a little bit. Like this. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring it up to a 30 now so I can lower the brake decrease, or brake pressure while still maintaining some. So now I'm going to bring it up to a minimal brake. Actually, I'm going to coast now. I've taken a little too much off here. So I'm going to actually put a little bit more speed on to move in a little further. And right here, we're going to bring it to a stop. Now, technically, this is on the platform, but the game doesn't think it's on for whatever reason. Either way, welcome to Stewart Manor for our next passenger pickup. I might be moving slightly early on that bell. Leaving Stewart Manor, our next stop is Floral Park on the Hempstead side. Love to see those W's. It means you can get horny. We don't have a constantly ringing bell either, so something we just have to deal with there. We're being warned about... Thank you. You know, like my speed? Oh, we're being coded down to a 30. We cannot exceed 30 right now. So 30 is the limit we're being taken down to. I think there's a train ahead of us. That's what I take that to mean. There's probably a train ahead of us. We'll take a quick peek at the map. We can actually confirm this. There's Floral Park right there. And I'm actually apparently mistaken. There is no train ahead of... Oh, yeah, one coming the other way, but there's none actually ahead of us. So I'm not sure why we're getting a 30 here. Because it's a 60 track here. 60 speed limit, 50 coming up. But we're being coded for the 30, which is interesting. We're not allowed to go beyond 30 right now. I don't know if this is correct or not, but... Thank you. So there's a track circuit here. So you notice some of the signals are just track circuits. They don't actually have a light for you to follow. They just control your movement on the route. So if you're coming up to a section where there's a train, that track circuit can detect you're coming and can stop you. That's kind of the idea behind that. We're still coded for a 30, but we have a 50 speed limit that we're now entering. We can't reach it, so that's fine. What's our, This is a problem. This can be a serious problem if we can't get up to the platform in time. So we're just going to bring this train to a stop wherever it lands at this point, because we're technically late. Still being coded for 30. Okay, we're going to do a full brake application now. Wherever it ends up, it ends up. Actually, this is not going to be bad. I think we're going to have one car sticking out the back. I went to a minimal brake to help with that. But this is actually not too bad. So we are okay for this stop. Arrival at Floral Park, track number 1. We were still on time, so leaving Floral Park, our next stop is going to be Bellerose. You can see that we do have still coded a 30 here, so I can't go beyond 30 yet. If I try, the train will stop me. So just to show you what it's going to do, right now I'm at 31. Oh, I'm coded for 40 now. Never mind, I can go up to 40. We're good. If I try to exceed 40, the train's going to stop me. See, there's your proof of it right there. So I have to bring the train back down. I have to answer the alert, and then I loosen speed while I answer the alerts. There's your proof I can't go beyond 40 yet. Now, Bellerose is right here, so I should stop fooling around. I should just make my stop here at Bellerose and stop being a goof. That'd be a smart thing to do right now. So our stop at Bellerose is timed for right now. So let's get this brake on, and let's get this stop made. Almost perfect stop. Last car is not on, but we'll take it. Arrival at Bellerose. Leaving Bellerose. Our next stop is Queens Village. We are now getting clear signals all the way. That straight up and down line does mean go line speed, which means we're getting updated to a 70 right now. And momentarily we're going to be updated to an 80. So we can basically go up to a track speed. We're not going to reach it, but we can go it. There is a 30 coming up. We need to keep that in mind as we approach Queens Village. We're now getting the caution signals to lower our speed, which is exactly what we need to do now, so we're going to do that. Can I get down in time, please? Thank you. Didn't want to take it, huh? Didn't want to take it, eh? Thank you. What's your problem? So I think that last signal was another slow approach. We are under the speed limit this time, so we don't have to really do anything to adjust the sides from answering the alert. Keep in mind, if you're above the speed limit, you cannot respond to an alert until you are actually under the speed limit again. Welcome to Queens Village. People are waiting. I'm coming in way too slow, so I moved into a coast setting temporarily. Our arrival time is 8:02, so we need to stop very, very soon. I'm trying to maintain enough speed to get a good stop here. We're not going to get the entire train on this one, so wherever we end up, we end up. And we could use a little more platform, but we're late. So arrival at Queens Village, track number 3. Leaving Queens Village. Our next stop is Hollis. We're going to hold off here for a second just to check that we are rated for 80. So we are good to go up to top speed now. Let's do that. So looking at our remaining stops, Hollis is up ahead. We're going to have Jamaica right after that, where we're going to get dropped to 15 the whole way. Then we're going to move to Woodside, and then New York Penn. We're going to skip 2 stations along the way here. A lot of the services heading on that New York Penn corridor do end up skipping one or 2 stations, sometimes all 3. I'm trying to remember the names of those stations now. I know there's Kew Gardens. I'm going to look this up while I'm parked at Jamaica, because I'm going to kick myself for forgetting what the other one is. Woodside is the last one. Kew Gardens precedes it. And the one before that, I am kicking myself on. Maybe I'll do it while I'm here at Hollis. Okay, we're going to start braking now, because this is a good idea. We're getting into the performance-heavy section of the route here, as you can see. It's lagging a little bit more. I do expect it to slow down quite a bit to maybe about 15 frames per second as we go into Jamaica. I fully expect this. I don't think there's much we can do about it, and I'm probably coming in way too fast now, so we're putting a heavy, heavy brake on. Now, the whole train won't fit anyway, so I don't care that much. We're just going to get the back cars on today, I guess. I don't know. Something like that. Get this train stopped, please. Get this train stopped, please. So it looks like cars number 5 to 8 are going to get to board passengers today. Excellent. Arrival at Hollis, track number 3. Leaving Hollis, our next stop is Jamaica. Something you didn't see because there was a long gap there and I wasn't ready for it. A train to Hicksville went flying by. I think it was train 1256. I know that number well. There's not a lot of trains that end their service at Hicksville. That's one of the rare exceptions. So 1256, 12 represents the Hicksville services. So as we leave, you can see we are still coded for an 80, and our track limit is, of course, 80. So we are going to still get to go to top speed for a while. I'm going to go to P4 throttle. Use as much of that speed as I can because our next stop is scheduled for 1812 at Jamaica. And we're going to need to slow down before that. We're only about 2 miles away, but we're going to be getting some slow travel before that. This is the Hillside facility. Hillside. That is a staff facility. So if we... I'm not going to try to, but if we were to take a look, you'd see their facility up to our left. We're getting ready to slow down here, so I don't want to push our chances and miss an alert like this. Okay, we're still good for now. We got coded down to a 70. This will get lower as we get to the 40. So in fact, I'm going to hold it at 60, because I have a feeling we're going to get coded very soon. Next signal, I believe. There's the line coming in from St. Albans. Checking the signal coding. We're being coded down to a 40, so it's time to hit the brakes. Oh, stop it. I was under 40. Stop it. So we're going to be eventually dropping down to a 20, as you can see. And we're going to eventually be probably coded for 15 because that's what the lowest coding we have is. Coding for 15 also by chance make sure we can't break the 20 speed limit in any way, shape, or form. So we're getting alerted for a speed drop to 20. The train is now going to force us down to that 20. The train was not happy with the speed we were going in terms of when we need to slow down by. That's why it forced us to get down to a certain level there. It felt we were not slow enough. I mean, I don't know any better way to put that. It did not think we were going slowly enough. That was a coding for the 15. We are indeed being dropped to 15 now. So I have to now bring our speed up to 15 because we got dropped under that. 15 is now the fastest we can go. Ignore the fact the speed limit is 20. 15 is as fast as we're allowed to go right now. And the reason we cannot go above 15 is because of that. The train doesn't have a coding for a 20. So 15 it is. So we approach Jamaica. We're still making good time here. We still have about a whole minute and a half for our stop. Actually 2 minutes if you want to be precise. So we might be able to get to the end of the platform and just carry on with our day from the end of the platform. As you can see, we moved over one track. We're now entering, and I thought that staircase was actually a little off. Maybe I'm, that's a route thing though. Maybe I just saw that wrong in my screen. Very possible I saw that wrong. And yeah, we're going to be able to coast all the way to the end here. I like this. It's actually nice being able to go through Jamaica. It's a really nice station to make your way through, even if it is slow, because you get to see all the detail that is in the Jamaica station. It's the same route you have from TSW, the same Jamaica. So there's nothing really too different about it. It's the same Jamaica station that you can wander through on TSW. I really hope the TSW version of Jamaica Long Island Railroad does get some improvements someday. It is a route that is crying for improvements to it, especially the 24-hour timetable, because there's just so much opportunity that was missed on that 24-hour timetable. I really hope it gets some work in TSW someday, and I will be here to play it if it does. Arrival at Jamaica, track number 2. For some reason, my train went into a key out state. I didn't do that, I think, but it did. So, leaving Jamaica, our next stop is going to be at Woodside. Lots of stuff to talk about in this section that we're not going to see on the route, for those who may not have a memory of it. Up ahead on the straight route would be Boland's Landing, which is a staff point, followed by the stations of East New York, Nostrand Avenue, and Atlantic Terminal at the terminus of that part of the route. The route we're going to be taking is going north of that, so the first station we're going to be passing by momentarily is Kew Gardens. And then the other one I was trying to remember was Forest Hills. That's the other one I was trying to remember. So Kew Gardens and Forest Hills are going to be crossed before we reach Woodside. We are going to get up to our 80-mile-per-hour speed limit at some point along that journey as well, once we're free of the oppression of slow speeds in Jamaica. Something I'm not happy about is Jamaica doesn't have any traffic in it today. Normally there should be at least a couple trains hanging out there at any time, I would imagine. So I wish, even if they were just sitting idle, I wish there were at least services sitting in Jamaica so that there was some activity there. But, oh well. That's the one improvement I would make to this scenario. I imagine what probably happened is that services did exist there, but I guess something must not have worked and they had to get it ready for release. So they didn't have time to really tinker with it. And my guess is those services were just removed. And it was probably Jamaica services that were removed. So it's not as busy as it could be, probably just because they had to get to release state and they couldn't get it working in time. That's my guess. I don't know. It's just a guess. We're now good for a 40 mile per hour speed limit. We're coded for 80, but we have to wait for the speed limit to adjust. So we can now head up to 40. So yeah, just to explain that coding, the track is graded so that we can go 80 miles per hour on it from this point. But the speed limit on the section of track is 40. We do have a straight, clear signal ahead as well. So, yep, once the section is cleared, we can go into the full 80. I don't want brakes. What am I doing? So another clear signal. We can now go 80. Let's do it. So arrival time at Woodside is 18:22. We have 5 minutes to get to Woodside. We need to get up to speed in a hurry because we got 5 miles to go. And we're going to be dropping to 70 at some point. Here is Kew Gardens. Well, yeah, Kew Gardens, sorry. It is Kew Gardens. I almost gave you the wrong station name there. I almost corrected myself to the wrong station name. Not really a correction. We have reached our speed limit of 80 miles per hour. And this is Forest Hills. So now that we've reached 80, we're probably going to get dropped to 70 any moment now. So 3 minutes to go to make our stop, and we are now within 3 miles, so we are making good time at this stage. By the way, as we approach Woodside, we will be passing the line that goes to, I guess really the Shea Stadium area. It eventually goes towards Port Washington. That line joins us and actually has to stop on its service for Woodside. It stops typically on, I believe, platforms. I don't know if it's platform C. I think it's track 3. That usually makes it stop. We're going to get coded to 70 in a moment, so I'm starting to slow down now, so I don't have to deal with the alarm fuss. There we go. We're going to have a 60 up ahead as well. That's a speed limit, so we need to actually drop to that 60. And now that's going to be enforced. Woodside is right there. And 60 is now in effect. We didn't get warned about it because we were not above the speed limit. If we were above the speed limit, the train again would have warned us like it did earlier. But it had no reason to because we had already complied. We now have a regular Amtrak style green signal. I'm going to begin to slow down a little bit now. I'm going to take the brakes off now because we're down to about 35. I think we're good for our stop. Here we go. So the Port Washington branch again has joined us. I'm going to coast because I'm coming in way too slow, but I do have time to make the stop, so it's okay. We have a lot of platform. That's part of the reason why I slowed down a little early. We have a lot of platform. I want to make sure I center myself right in the middle of the platform. So coming in at this speed for that bit gave me a chance to center myself. I'm still coming in too slowly. But looking at that, we have a 10 marker on the track anyway, saying that's where trains really stop anyway. So we are now arriving at Woodside, track number 3. One more stop to go. Leaving Woodside, our next and final stop on this service is New York Penn. We're going to be pulling a few tracks over, say stopping at track 16. We have a yellow over green. We're being warned consequently that we are limited to 40 miles per hour on this section of track. We're going to have a 45 up ahead as well, so frankly, not surprising. Yep, we're still code for 40, so let's make sure we don't exceed 40. We are entering one of the tunnels here. Just a small one. We have another yellow over green, so we are still limited. We've now hit a 1.1% uphill grade. We were going downhill for a moment, which is why I kept hitting the brakes. We're going to have lots of downhill in a moment, though. That's for sure. So I'm not too concerned. I think that was a red over green we had. There were a lot of signals there, but I couldn't identify perfectly. So we're being warned, I think, about a new speed limit, the 45. There you go. And now we're entering the 60 again. Are we going to be allowed to go 60? I have no idea. We might be following a train. We might not be. I don't know. Nope, we're still code for 40. There you go. We cannot exceed. So quick review, our arrival time is scheduled for 18:32. We have 6 minutes to make our stop. A little less than 4 miles to go. If we check our information, we are now coded for 80, so we can actually go up to 60 now. Let's do it. We are on a downhill segment, so it works out very nicely for us. There's one of the many busy roadways going over New York. Gonna leave the speed right here at 56 for now because we're gaining nicely anyway. Told you we were gonna have a lot of downhill, didn't I? This is a 1.9% downhill gradient, so quite a strong gradient. We're going to have to hit brakes on this very, very heavily to guard against it. Look how quickly you gain it back after you hit the brakes. Look just how quickly that is. You can see the 15 up ahead, so we are soon going to be getting coated down in speed. We're going to have to respond to these lowerings in coating as we go. We still have 4 minutes to make our stop, so we're doing okay for the time being. I think it's going to be around starting at the next signal or maybe the one after that we start getting lowered because the codes do go in steps there down to 60, 40, 30, and then 15. So it might be at this signal, might be at the next one. Notice I haven't been trying too much to increase our speed back to 60 because I know it's coming. And we hit an uphill stint anyway, so it works for us. 1.5% uphill gradient. Here it is. Oh, quiet. So I'm going to try to maintain within 30 to 40 for the time being. I am going to have to lower it again in just a moment. Here it is. Shot it. Shot it. Shot it. We gotta go down to 15. Is there a train ahead of us? It's saying 30 now. There must have been a train ahead of us. Yeah, we can go back to 30 now. So there must have been a train ahead of us. I'm gonna go back down to 15 now, though, because that is our upcoming speed limit. Two and a half minutes. We're within a mile. But we're now going literally a mile every 4 minutes. That said, we should be at our stop within 2 minutes. It's going to be a matter of stopping on time. And yeah, checking our code. We're still coded for 30. We could have gone a little faster here. But I'm already going 15, so we're not going to push it. Because our 15 speed limit would have been pushed down at this point anyway for it. So I'm not concerned. We're now coming into the end of the major tunnel section. We're now going to enter the underground station. There's our indication we've entered the 15s. So I'm already at 15, thank you. Down, thank you. So now we're going to find our way over to track number 16. I didn't see which track we came in on. Let me check the map very quickly to find out where we were. We actually came in on the southern tracks, which is not the northern tracks we usually are used to coming in on. We came in on the southern ones pretty much through the Hunters Point Avenue area. So that's where we entered today. We're coming right next to another train. Were we following a train, by the way? That's the only question I have. Were we following someone? No, we weren't. We were not following someone. So I don't know why we got coded down under 30 for a moment there. That was interesting. So we're going to start braking a little bit now because we're coming to the end of our journey. Almost all of our cars are on the platform, and now they are. So let's go ahead and hide this, and we'll finish the journey with just the HUD off. You can see our speed is showing up there to say where we are finishing our drop. Going just a wee bit more, and I'm going to bring the train to a stop with the platform barely vanished. So we are now done our journey. Welcome to New York, Penn. Doors have been opened. Let's look at our train. So that was our first drive of the M3, and it reminds me a lot of driving the M7, interestingly enough. So, 2 more of these to come. One is a little bit shorter, and one is pretty much the whole route, from what I understand, 80-minute scenario. I'm curious what takes 80 minutes on that scenario. That's a pretty long one. But in any case, there's your introduction to the M3, and I hope you enjoyed it. We have 2 more of these coming up, so make sure you tune in tomorrow for the second scenario. We are going to go to the career scoring menu in just a second once this scenario finishes, and we're going to take a quick look at the score, but I'm not going to linger about too much because we're just going to be looking at a perfect score at this point, unless something went completely wrong in this final section, I don't know. But it looked like we were on time anyway. So just waiting for the stop to fully process, and we will be on our way to do something else. By the way, let me know if you've been enjoying the SimRail content I've been putting out. I've wanted to give the SimRail game a good introduction. There's some pretty good graphics in that game. It is a newer age game. While it is neat to see what we are still pulling off with Train Sim Classic and even Train Sim World, having something brand new to compete with them is a really good, refreshing breath of air, and I'm happy to see something new out there. Well done, engineer. That was a great run from Hempstead. You got the passengers in from to their respective destinations on time. I need to read. We have time to grab some food and drink before returning eastbound. Good idea. I'm going to go put something in the oven. Scenario complete. Thanks for playing. Have a good day, scenario author. And we are going to check our scoring screen in just a moment as we get our scenario complete. So just a reminder to like the video, subscribe to the channel. There is our perfect score. Notice it gave me 0 experience. I think the reason why I got 0 experience is I might be playing this just a little early. I'm not getting the tick for the experience being achievable yet because I guess the pod file might not have been turned on yet. So that's something I will poke a contact about and see if that is going to be the case. That's why I'm not getting the experience. So nonetheless, I do have 1,000. It is possible. Scenario approved and passed. So I'm going to say this is not... I don't have a problem with this except for the fact there's a lack in traffic in some places where you expect more traffic. I like that we pulled into a train next to us on 17. I like that we took the southern track in instead of the northern track that we usually take. Those are a couple things I really liked about that scenario. And it was the entire Hempstead journey. So no complaints about doing that either. We got to see the whole Hempstead journey. So there were enjoyable aspects about the scenario. I just didn't like the fact there was not as much traffic as you would expect there to be on the Long Island Railroad. But again, this may be a sort of a performance issue, or it may be problems with the route itself that are underlying that we don't know about, or in some cases we might know about. But in any case, have yourself a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever it is for your part of the world. I'll see you next time for the second scenario, M302 as it's going to be named, and I'll see you for that. I'm Cyclone. Bye-bye.